Batista, in 2005 Royal Rumble botch finish. Oh yeah, that was shades of Bret Hart and Lex Luger. Remember that?
Speaking of Cena,
Mm.
let's take it back to the Royal Rumble when the botched finish, right?
Yeah.
You're standing there
Yeah.
in the ring.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind when Vince runs into the ring
Right.
and you don't know what's happened at the time, but he can't stand up?
The whole
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
I
he
thought
busted
it
his
was fine.
knees.
The whole day it was just a nightmare.
They didn't tell you were winning?
No, I knew I was winning, but what happened was, so I think we were in Bakersfield, but I think we were in San Francisco the night before. And so I stayed there. Instead of driving to Bakersfield, I stayed there because my mom lives there. I want to stay and I want to spend time with my mom. So I got up the next day and I drove. And I was really late to the show. I was really late to getting there. And I knew that I was supposed to go over that night. And it was like a big deal and I was going to go to WrestleMania. And Vince thought that I was being super disrespectful by showing up late. And he was pissed. And I thought he was going to change his mind. It was going to change like the whole storyline. And so I got there and he reamed me out as soon as I got there. But then the match and it was botched, and I totally take blame for it because I went over. I knew what the finish was, and I just went over. And thank God that we landed when we did. Kind of, at the same time, it was a miracle. And then when I saw Vince coming down, I was like, getting fired. Most of my career, until like later in my career, I throughout my career, especially in OVW, I thought any day now I'm getting fired. I was just so happy to be there.
At what point do you realize he's torn both quads?
I think later on, I didn't realize during the match. I didn't
rough.
know why he was sitting there. I had no idea what was going on, and I was just worried about the match. And then they got him out of there. I think I found out late.
I ain't knew nothing about that until the internet. I thought that he just maybe slipped or twisted his ankle or something. Because I remember that he ran out there pissed, threw his coat off, the suit jacket, and then ran in there and slid underneath and just sat on down. I was like, I hung about sitting on the floor. I'm not sitting on the floor, sitting on the mat. But I didn't, till like, they had like those other interviews later than that. What's the name on the interview? And it ain't funny because they said, that's extreme pain. And when I remember Waltman was like, boom, both of them gone. And then they like to pick at Nash about the knee and the quad. It's what do they call it? Excruciating pain is no joke. Like who else tore? Oh, Triple H. He tore. He tore the other one 3 years later. And then the first one he finished the match and then put in the walls of Jericho on top of it. That was hell. Had to be hell right there.
Later on, and the funny thing was, so I think I can't remember where we were at like the next day, but it was the next day, and I got to the building and somebody immediately said Vince wants to see you in his office, and I was like, here it comes.
Oh boy.
So I went to his office, and my heart is beating. I'm like just in my head packing my bags. And I walk into his office, and he's sitting. He's got his crutches beside him. He's all banded stuff. And he walks in, and he just starts laughing. And he's laughing, and like at the top of his lungs, ha, 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 ha. And I was like, "You're not going to fire me?" And he goes, "No, I loved it. It was real. It was so great, and it was real, and nobody knew what was going to happen, but he loved it." I think that Vince thrives on chaos. I think he needs, when you think about some guy who's, he's a billionaire. He's accomplished everything. He's bought everything that he could ever buy. He says everything.
Yeah.
So what's he got left? Excitement. And I think because that moment was so chaotic, I think it just excited him. It exhilarated him. And so even though it was a total botch, I think he just had so much fun in that exhilarating, exciting moment that he thrived on it, and he forgave me.
Yeah, anything that gets Vince started. He loves crazy stuff. When I first seen that, though, remember I had the DVD when it first came out. I think I saw the pay-per-view too. It was 05. The first when him and Cena both went out, the first thing I thought of, I was like, I don't know about watching wrestling for 100 years. I don't know about the Luger and Bret Hart thing. And I remember they restarted that 3 or 4 times. And it was like, I never forget it. It was Howard Finkel. He was like, the winner of the 1994 WWF Royal Rumble. And he was like, he just got tired of repeating himself. I remember that. Like, you sure about this? Are you sure? He's like, the winners are Bret Hart and Lex Luger. And Lex said, the winner. I mean, the way Lex looked, he's like, the winners. So I think Bret had the belt twice. Then I was kind of rooting for Luger, even though I know, like I said, the Made in the USA thing. He wasn't no Luger. He wasn't no Hulk Hogan. So, but yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when they both fell over the rope. I was like, okay. I was like, not the Bret Hart Lex Luger thing again. Oh boy. And I know because like I was like, either one of them is gonna find a way to both get that belt. So I remember it was Batista and Triple H, and it was Cena and JBL. I think it wasn't Cena he had the U.S. champion with the. That's when he had the first spinner belt. Not a first spinner belt. I liked the U.S. I didn't like the WWE when they wore it out. But the spinner, the U.S. spinner belt was cool. But yeah, I remember that. That was I think Cena debuted that in like late '04. I want to say, or was it early '05? It's so damn long. But yeah, but that's the first thing I thought of when I seen it. I was like, not the Bret Hart and Lex Luger thing. Now I remember in school, like I talked about this in another video. Okay, getting in trouble. Trying to hit people with the steel plated, the loaded forearm. Know about that? Okay, he was into wrestling too much back then, but that was something. He's like, he's doing it again. He's hitting people with the forearm, which that was actually a stupid finish. The better finish was the torture rack. But yeah, getting in trouble, hitting people with the running forearm. Oh